Welcome to another episode of the American Nightmare Podcast. And with your host, Sal, Mickey. You can say your name.
I'd prefer to remain anonymous.
Okay.
Yeah.
You.
Craig Anderson.
There you go. All right.
Mr. X, I'll be.
Mr. X.
Yes.
All right. So this week we're going to talk a little bit about a couple things, right? Movie news.
Mm-hmm. We had a trailer that we were supposed to. We're all supposed to watch. I thought.
Yeah.
The Predator trailer.
Yeah, and I totally forgot.
I did too.
I didn't. I watched it.
But I watched the Nun trailer. The new one.
You did. That came out 2 days ago, right?
Yes.
2 days ago.
Looks awesome.
Yeah.
I
think as we mentioned last time, just seeing The Nun and Conjuring 2 was terrifying, and I think this trailer kind of...
So it wasn't what I expected. Yeah, I mean, it's back. It's an older...
Right, so it's like
time
the
period.
origin or whatever.
Yeah.
I have no frame of
Kinda neat.
reference.
You need to watch
I will.
Conjuring 2.
I know. I will.
Oh, yeah, Conjuring 2 and the Nun trailer.
And really, I didn't do any homework.
Conjuring
so
2 is going to be hard.
I didn't do any homework, so I have no trailers to talk about.
But you had already seen the Predator trailer.
Yes, I have.
You told us to see it.
Did you guys take a look at it, and what did you think?
I did.
Because it seems to me it's a retelling of the story.
Well,
Or is it...
No.
'cause it's set in modern times.
Yeah. Because this one's called The Predator, where the original was just called Predator.
Right.
And I think it is a retelling of the story, but I think it's still kind of a continuation like thing.
Okay.
So not so much a remake, but more of a revamp.
Yeah, I was a little confused because in the trailer they start off with the kid playing with a spaceship.
Yeah,
and then
because
it
he opens
kinda-
up the box and it has that what turns out I think to be like a homing device
Right.
in it, and then he gets it all.
And as he's messing with that, playing with it like it's a spaceship, they cut to a spaceship in outer space.
Do you
Right.
think
coming
it's
to
a
Earth and-
prequel? Sort of?
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
Definitely not because it's set in modern times.
I think I think it's like a revamp. Like it's kind of telling the story of them, but
right.
it's not a
so
sequel.
They gave a couple scenes where like it seemed like one guy was like a military person.
Yeah.
He was on some sort of mission. They're like, well, what did you
see.
see?
You
Did
mean
you
like
see
aliens?
And then they're like, yeah, he saw aliens or whatever. And I thought, okay, so
I think it looks pretty good.
yeah. But then they were talking about hybridization. They travel the
travel around the galaxy, like planting these things throughout the.
Yeah,
It's got potential. Like I'm not gonna.
we'll see.
From my initial view of it, I thought it looked like interesting.
In my Facebook feed, something did pop up to tell me that it has been 37 years since Predator.
Wow.
Came out.
What?
Yeah.
Dude, I'm old. Holy! I remember going to see that with my friends in the theater,
Yeah.
like in the Wind Gap Theater.
Yeah,
And-
when I
and-
thought, I'm like, holy shit! And my buddy at work saw it too, and he's like, oh my god,
damn, 37 years old.
And then he's like, it makes sense because look at Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Well, yeah,
that dude looks old. Man. He's really old.
It was in
Yeah.
his prime, It was like right after
Uh,
Terminator and
Yeah,
Yeah.
was there anything before? It was Conan the Barbarian, Terminator, and then Predator, right? I don't think there was
think
any.
so.
Red Sonja?
Well, yeah.
that might have been after
Conan.
Predator.
Really?
Yeah, Predator was 86.
Huh.
Okay.
Was it 86?
Yeah.
I believe it was 86.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, well, that'd be 32 years, though.
Then that doesn't make sense.
No.
Maybe it is 32. Maybe I'm
You added 5 years to it.
misremembering it.
Still, 32 years is, 32, 37. We're basically splitting hairs here. Gray hairs.
I'm going to quick look it up because I'm... Yeah, so Predator came out in 1987.
Mm. So it's 31 years.
31 years old.
Maybe that one looked like a 7. It happens.
Maybe. So that's a long time ago.
It still
Either
is a
way-
long time.
Either way, it's
Yeah.
a long time ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it made me feel old when I thought about it. But when I look at that trailer, I'm kind of iffy. I have high hopes, but
Yeah. That was like the Halloween trailer. I watched that one too because I think we talked about that a little bit last time.
Right.
And originally, I think we talked about this the other night. Like I was kind of wary because I was like, it's gonna Halloween H2O was crappy,
Right. It was.
and I was like, so what are they gonna do here? But then
I heard, I don't know if it's fact or not, this is an alternate timeline.
Well, yeah, it definitely is because as I watched the trailer, I was paying attention, and when they show that guy initially go to that loony bin that he's being kept at, they say he's been there for like 30 some years.
Yeah.
So I'm like, well, then
Right.
that last movie didn't take place really. Which
Correct.
Is,
and if you
is
think
fine
about
for me,
if you think about all the Halloween movies lined up, it is kind of a choose your own adventure type thing because depending on which movie you follow, because you have Halloween 1, Halloween 2, and then Halloween 3 kind of goes a whole nother direction. So it is kind of, there's not a
Nothing to do
consistent
with
timeline there.
The original.
Right.
Days to Halloween, Halloween, Silver Shamrock. I liked it.
It scared me as a kid. I
play
remember
that
watching it.
song when kids are trick or treating. I have it in my playlist.
Oh,
It is a
nice.
creepy song.
I put a little box. I decorate my house.
Nice.
I put a little box outside and play scary music.
But-
Very good.
But I watched, and actually, Blumhouse is producing that movie, which is kind of so. It's John Carpenter is directing, or he's executive producer. I forget, but Blumhouse is the production.
They turn
company.
out a lot of good movies lately.
They do. I went through after I saw that. I was like, I know I've seen quite a few good ones by
Yeah,
Blumhouse. Then I was
agreed.
looking. They did the Paranormal Activity movies, Sinister movies. They have a lot of.
They did The Green Inferno. That was a release.
Yeah.
By them.
Get Out was
Get Out,
them.
which was a fantastic movie.
Yeah. So I mean, they've put out a lot of good movies. So that kind of made me a little bit more feel more comfortable with it. And I looked at it, I was like, it actually looks like it's got potential.
I saw the trailer for the first time a few days ago, and I was like, it has potential.
Like the scene where the girls and the crapper and all of a sudden there's the door shaking and then he drops all those teeth over the top of the door. I was like, yeah, that's creepy.
Yeah.
And it looked like there's some good jump scares.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the other thing I want to talk about is the movie we saw last time, which was Quiet Place. Did you see how much money that sucker is pulling in?
No. I did see that
Still.
Avengers Infinity War hit $2 billion,
Yeah.
Wow.
which is impressive.
Yes, it is.
Well,
but
it has to.
rumor
with
has it they
cast.
spent nearly $1 billion.
Well, that's what I
making the
said
movie,
with
so.
the cast and the
Well, yeah, I
expenses,
mean,
it has
the
to-
cast, the effects, and the
but still, if you're
advertising.
making
And
$1 billion on a movie. Oof.
So I just want to very quickly, because I didn't write it down. Once again, I'm very poor at doing my homework. My favorite website for checking this type of information, by the way, is boxofficemojo.com. I don't know if you've ever seen that,
I have not.
but it's an industry reporting website that shows basically numbers. And A Quiet Place domestically has taken in $186 million.
Wow.
wow,
Which is pretty impressive for a horror movie.
I can't imagine that the budget was. I think we talked about the budget last time. And
Yeah, the budget was less than $50 million.
Wow.
And their opening weekend was $50,200,000. So they cleared their budget on the first
It's
weekend.
a nice chunk of change right there.
And worldwide, $325 million. So that's quite impressive for a PG-13 horror movie.
Yeah, I usually don't give those the time of day, but
Yeah. So that's impressive. So kudos to
John Krasinski.
John Krasinski, because that guy. And the thing is, he's actually on that new Netflix series. I don't know if you know about that.
Jack, the one about the CIA guy.
Yeah, John.
Yeah. Tom Cruise played him in the movies, I think.
John
right?
Ripper. Jack. No.
Yeah, I can't remember what the hell it is.
But it looks pretty
But
good.
yeah, you're
actually.
right. Yeah, it does.
The series looks pretty good.
Yeah, I can't remember what Jack.
Disappointing because I think he said he sort of wasn't going to get back in horror.
Well, that's the thing, and I think I said it the last time we talked about this. Was he is not in all the interviews I read. He said number one, he does not like horror movies. He calls himself a scaredy cat. He doesn't really care for horror at all. So I don't think we're going to see another horror genre a movie from him, which that's fine because he did great on this one. That's great, and now he's probably going to be able to do whatever he wants to do, given how much money he's made off this one movie. And since he was co-writer of the screenplay and producer and director,
Right.
that's impressive. Very
Considering he's not really into the genre.
impressive. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he says that to him, it's not a horror movie. It is a family movie, which I think I mentioned before. It's about family and relationships.
Which is kind of funny because the other movie we'll be talking about is also a
family and relationships.
and the lead actress in that apparently isn't a fan of horror movies either.
No,
So.
no. But all the interviews with her is like she was for her, she said some of the scenes were terrifying for her to be part of, but we'll talk about that later.
Yeah.
Actually, what I'd like to get to next is our top 5.
Okay.
So our top 5 list this week or this month is vacation themed.
Summer.
Yeah, vacation / summer / travel.
Right.
Related.
It was kind of a
horror.
vague, as long as it would, there was some sort of like road tripping or
Something in it that's-
camping
right,
or,
right.
or beaches or whatever.
Beaches,
Vacation.
a long drive with
Something
friends.
you could say that they're on their way to a vacation
Yeah.
or they're on vacation
Yeah.
or
Yeah. So we'll start
I
off.
I went first last time.
yeah.
I think so.
It's my
So,
turn.
Yep.
Okay.
We're going clockwise.
All right. So I'm going to go, and we'll start off with my number 5, Hatchet.
Oh,
I bring up Hatchet again
yeah.
because it was one of my top slasher movies, and it happens to be a vacation movie. Teenagers who went
Right.
to Louisiana Bayou, did some scary haunted bayou, trip,
Tours.
and it turns out to be slasher. Again, I love Hatchet. It's one of my favorite slasher movies. It's kind of reinventing the whole slasher genre during that movie, and I really like it.
Yeah, there was a couple of mine that I was like, I did this one already.
But it still fits in
yeah,
the category.
It does,
so
yeah,
what the hell?
you're right.
Number 4 for me, and I remember watching this many years ago, and I liked it. I Know What You Did Last Summer.
Oh, that's a good one.
Sarah Michelle Gellar. It was a fantastic
Jennifer
movie.
Love Hewitt.
Yeah, it was a good movie.
Ryan Philippe.
Yep.
I mean, it was a good movie.
My number 3, Hostel.
Ah, yeah.
Okay.
yeah.
Okay, this is a European
And it
travel,
was-
stopping at a hostel.
And it was at the time it was a new kind of horror. That was
Yes.
kind of one of the
Oh,
first
gosh,
ones that kind of brought the
and
yeah.
it shocked the shit out of you at the end of it.
yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
You thought you knew what was going on, but in fact you did
Another
not.
one Sal and I saw. When we
Yep.
were-
Yep. And I remember walking out of the theater going, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Quentin Tarantino produced it, right?
Right. Yeah.
Yes.
It was Eli Roth that I think wrote it, but
Yep.
Tarantino produced it.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
When those two guys get together, it's magic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cinema magic. My number 2, Friday the 13th.
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, that is the quintessential
yeah.
vacation summertime horror movie, right?
Yeah. It is
Summer camp and a slasher.
Yeah.
And that kind of set the whole genre for slashers.
Right.
Really. And my number 1, American Werewolf in London. Two backpackers going across England,
Yeah.
and then get attacked by a werewolf. Another.
The sequel wasn't that bad either.
No.
Don't talk about the sequel.
It was okay.
It was not that good.
Oh,
I didn't even think about that because that's one of my all-time top.
Favorite movies of all
Yeah,
time.
No, that's on my top.
Yeah, I have the
3
director's
maybe.
cut Blu-ray edition, and I love it. It's one of those movies that.
Did you forget he was backpacking?
And at the time, the effects
Well, the special
were
effects
pretty
was
impressive.
Baker did the special effects, and he set a standard that was higher than
absolutely.
anyone else could ever reach.
Yeah.
Showing, I mean, you never got to see
No, they would pan away.
wolf
They'd
transformation.
start and then finish. There was never
Right.
the whole
Right,
transformation.
and prior to that, when you had like Lon Chaney playing the Wolfman, it was kind of they did the stop motion, fill
Yeah,
in a
just
little
the
hair,
hair, and
fill
that
in a
was it,
little
right.
more, and that was
Now
it.
it's just the head. You
Right,
didn't see the
and
whole
you didn't get to
body.
see the
Right.
whole body.
Yeah,
This was like, hand stretching out, the face moving, the
Oh,
back
yeah.
changing.
It was
Like,
impressive.
it was, and I remember as a kid, it looked real, and it
Yeah.
scared the shit out of me.
Yeah.
because I thought werewolves, that's real, that's not fake. So much so that I love that, and every year I go to in Jersey they have the that Chiller Theater horror convention.
Mhm.
Yes.
Yeah.
I went one year.
I almost went last year, and we ended up not. I forget why.
I go every year, and one year my daughter.
Actually, when I went, the Misfits were playing.
Oh yeah, they're there almost all the time, signing stuff. So I went and took my daughter, and I got a great picture. Excuse me, of her. They had the wolf from American Werewolf in
really?
London, and I got a picture of her like behind it with like her scared,
Nice.
with the wolf like and its fangs out. That was just amazing.
Nice.
That's my top 5, and I want to have 2 honorable mentions on there. One of them is Piranha 3D in 2010.
Okay.
I mean, that was the one with the 3D dick
Yeah,
floating
oh,
in
yeah.
the water.
Yeah.
Yeah, and there was a scene in there like Jerry O'Connell was great in that movie.
was great.
Yeah,
Oh, was
and
that the one he was like
he was
recruiting
like the girls gone wild. Yeah,
Yeah. He's like,
and
come on,
and the scene where like they have the glass bottom boat.
Yeah.
And the 2 girls are like swimming underneath it, and
yes.
Yeah.
On their backs.
Yeah.
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 So that to me, that was another fantastic vacation, summertime.
and it was a remake. I mean, because the original Piranha was actually a pretty good horror movie.
It was okay, yeah.
You know.
Yeah, but this one was great because they put the real campy twist on it.
Yeah.
It was just
And Christopher
fantastic.
Lloyd was the professor in it. Yeah, it was a good movie.
Yeah. And then another honorable mention is A Lonely Place to Die. I don't know if you've seen that one.
No, I don't know that one.
It's one that I watched. It might have been on Netflix, but it was like a foreign film. I guess it was English or Irish. But it's these campers, and there's some actually famous actress in it. And I can't remember her name, but she's been in American movies too. But they're camping and they're mountain climbing one of the highest peaks in Ireland, and they find a kidnapped girl, and they try to rescue her. But then the people that kidnapped her are hunting them down.
Oh,
so that was another kind of a slasher kind of.
yeah,
it was good. It was a good.
yeah. I don't know that one.
Yeah. All right. Craig?
All right. My number 5 is Tourist Trap.
Oh, that's a good one, too.
1979.
I don't know that one either.
That's a good one.
You have to see it.
Okay,
You have to
not
see
what 1979.
it. I think it was 1979.
Yeah, very good.
It's an oldie, but it was creepy.
Yeah.
Is it like a slasher flick or like
It's
Do you want to give it away? Is it?
yeah.
It defies
you can call it a slasher. You can call it a slasher.
Okay.
flick, but yeah, there's some supernatural stuff in
Yeah,
it.
it's more, to me, it's more of a supernatural horror kind of.
Yeah. Yep.
But yeah, awesome.
So
That's
yeah,
awesome.
check that one out if
I
you
didn't
haven't
think
seen
about
it.
that one.
Number 4 was the original Piranha.
It was a good movie.
One of the
it
early,
really was.
one of the early B movies that were really
Yeah.
good too.
Yeah.
I mean, it wasn't a high budget.
I seen that movie like 100 times, like on Saturday afternoons. Like it was one of those ones that, like that and Orca. Remember the
Orca,
killer?
yes. Yeah.
Those
Yeah.
were always on.
Yeah. That's fantastic.
But I just remember, I was young.
Yeah.
And I
No, it was great.
The piranhas would come, and you just see blood.
And you always.
And like I
feared
said, for a
piranhas
low
after that.
budget movie, when I was
It was
a kid,
good.
I thought it was
No,
good.
really, the water special effects
Yeah.
with the piranhas arriving was,
Yeah.
to me, terrifying.
Yeah.
And nice and bloody. So, hey, yeah.
Yep, absolutely. So that was number 4. Number 3, I Know What You Did Last Summer.
Yeah, good one.
So we crossed
Yep.
titles.
That's awesome that we picked from there. It seems that we
Yeah.
all have the same interests in some way, which is good. So,
Yeah.
Number 2 was Hostel.
there you go, another one.
Yeah. And again, Eli Roth, Quentin Tarantino, and it was something different.
You
as
can't
far
go
as-
wrong when you put the two of those guys
No.
together.
No.
Nope, for sure. And number 1 was Jaws.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's a great summertime.
my
and it's a
number
good-
That one
one.
scared the shit out of me.
And it's a good
You
movie
didn't want
too.
to swim.
Yeah.
Dude, I didn't want to swim.
It
I
was
had
a
a
good
pool.
movie. Like
I had a
they
pool.
really, it was a quality like story and
There was a documentary, and I can't remember if it was on Netflix or HBO, but I just watched it with my kids a couple weeks ago, where they talk about the making of that, and Steven Spielberg gives you like some insight. He was literally writing the movie every day as he's filming.
Really?
it. Yeah, he had to rewrite the whole thing several times, and he went over budget.
There was a lot of problems with the
significantly.
shark too.
Yes,
well,
Tons
yeah, I
of
mean,
problems with the shark.
like he was afraid that if he messed this up, he would never make another movie again, and he said he struggled.
Yep. And look what happened.
turned out great.
right?
It
Look
turned
what
out
happened.
fantastic.
that actually was
Oh.
that like
a
nominated
hu-
for
it
an
was
Academy
huge.
Award or
Yeah,
I believe it was.
Yeah.
I believe
yeah,
it
like
was.
so a horror movie nominated for Academy Award.
And
That's
people were terrified.
never
It was a
happened.
terrifying movie.
it really was. I
That's
mean,
never
it-
happened
And
since
even
Jaws.
today, like after seeing it so many times and it's from the 70s, watching it like that last like half an hour, like
Yeah.
I still get like my
Yeah.
kind of like on edge.
And that robotic shark,
Yeah.
the dead eyes
Yeah.
were like so. That was the scariest part for me.
Yeah.
This is a lifeless creature that just wants to eat you.
Yeah, and I remember the trailer for it too. Like again, we talked about this in one of the other episodes. The trailers back in the day really sold it. You know,
Yeah.
it was like a guy telling a story, and you're like, oh my god,
Yeah, don't go in the water.
Yeah.
You'll be terrified.
it's a mindless
Yeah.
killing machine
From the deep.
Yeah, I think that same guy probably did like all the
Probably.
trailers back then.
But it did that last half hour just drew you in, and like I said, just there wasn't a lot going on, and just that boat, it just was like real quiet and just like rocking. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
anticipation. It's like
Yeah, one of the most impressive things of all, if you think about it, and you look at modern movies like that, it wasn't an exceptionally large great white. It was a great white.
yeah,
Right.
I mean, there was nothing
Yeah, it was probably
fantastic about all
25
this. It was
feet,
very based in like some real things, And now it's like, you have Meg.
Yeah, it's like, it wasn't Meg.
Yeah, or it's got to be Sharknado or something,
Sharknado.
something beyond that, right?
Yeah, it was as big as a boat, so it was probably, 30, 35?
Yeah, I think he
it
said 28 feet, I
Yeah,
think.
and
like,
to me, all right, it's a great
like
white.
3
It's a
tons.
big great white, but it's a great white.
yeah.
It's not like today. It's like these giant great whites or the Meg or Sharknado or what was that? There was
a tornado of sharks.
Yeah, there was another one that was like
47 meters is supposed to be a good one. It's a shark movie, and I haven't seen it yet.
Oh, yeah.
either.
But it's
Or-
supposed to be good.
Yeah, what was
Say
the
really
the other
got
one?
The blue
Something
deep,
waters.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, the Deep Blue.
Deep
That's what it
Blue.
was, yeah.
yeah.
Thinking of something else, but I
Then
can't.
there was Jaws 3.
I never saw that.
I know
one.
what you're talking
I remember my
about.
dad taking me to see Jaws
Was
3 in 3D.
Yeah,
It was horrific.
was it?
It was bad.
Oh, yeah. And I saw that in the theater.
Yeah, so did I.
Yeah,
Jaws 3 in 3D.
Dennis Quaid.
Yeah, it was just
He
ridiculous.
was like the dolphin trainer.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was bad.
It was bad.
Might as well have put Randy Quaid in
Yeah, the
there.
dolphin.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay, so yeah, that was my list.
Any
and
honorable mention?
I do have two. I went with a movie called Spring.
Don't know that one.
Yeah, that doesn't sound familiar.
Check it out. Guy, American, goes over to.
I seen one called Sprung, but I don't think it was a
I
sequel.
want to say Italy or France, maybe, and he meets a girl, and I'm just going to leave it at that.
Okay. I like girls.
Interesting.
So check it out. It's really good.
Awesome.
And Club Dread.
Ah,
Oh, my
yeah,
God.
That's a great one, too.
It is a good one.
Yeah. Awesome. Chris?
Okay, so my number 5 was Cabin Fever, another Eli Roth movie.
That's a good one.
I kind of dug it because it was just like it was a virus, really, and like they were all just kind of like falling apart and shit. Like
Yeah.
there wasn't really like an actual like killer
Yeah.
in the movie. It
Yeah.
was just a disease, which is kind of different, and they
Yeah.
didn't really turn into zombies. They just kind of like melted or something.
Yeah.
I remember when the one girl was getting kind of sick and she was in the shower like shaving her legs and
Yeah.
like just chunks of flesh were coming off of her. I liked it. It was
Nice.
apparently they remade it already too. Like the original was like
I
2000.
didn't even see the remake.
The original was 2002. There's a 2016 that's just called Cabin Fever 2, and it's also Eli Roth. So I don't know if maybe he didn't quite get the budget he wanted for the first one.
I'm sure
or-
of it. I'm sure of it because that was early in his career.
Yeah.
Cabin Fever was early in
Yeah.
his career as a director producer. Yeah.
Right. So that was my number 5. My number 4 was Hostel. We've already talked about Hostel.
fantastic.
So
We didn't go into depth about Hostel.
we didn't.
We don't want to spoil it for people that may not have seen it.
Yeah, and I think it may not quite hit the what do we say, 15 years?
Yeah.
Is that the, yeah,
we're
is
like
that-
we're definitely going to spoil movies that are older than 15 years.
Yeah.
I don't know if this one's it, but
And it was such a weird, like, I'd just say from the halfway point, like, it just seems like a
the
weird
movie changed.
Yeah, like a travel movie, like just a buddy movie with
Yeah.
two guys backpacking across Europe and meeting some hot bitches, and I was like,
Then it just goes
then all of a
south.
sudden it's like, what the?
And it
Yeah.
hits
What the
home,
hell is
too,
going
'cause
on?
That could really happen.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it really
And
could.
And it
That's the
probably
scary
has.
part.
It really could. I
And it
mean,
probably
you just saw
has.
the other week that some Uber driver like popped a cap in some chick that he was driving,
Yeah.
Unreal.
just pulled over and killed her. Like,
Wow.
oh shit, that kind of shit happens.
Yep.
Okay, so number 3 for me was Piranha 3D.
Ah, there
Wow,
you go.
look
Look
at
at
you
that.
guys.
Again,
Unreal.
Well, Piranha made all three lists.
I
know.
Yeah,
I
and
took the original route.
And it's funny because there's a lot of horror movies that got remade from earlier ones, and a lot of times the remake is pretty good.
yes.
Yeah. And you all pointed out why I picked Piranha 3.
Yes.
Piranha to 3D.
And Chris did as well.
Because you had boobs. It was like the perfect
It was
summer
the glass-
movie.
the glass
Bikinis, boobs.
Jerry
you know.
O'Connell was great as a douchebag.
Love
It was
Jerry O'Connell.
fantastic.
Girls Gone Wild.
Love Jerry O'Connell.
And what's her name was in it? The Elizabeth Shue was the.
That's right,
Yeah,
that's
I
right.
mean, and she still looked pretty good. I was kind of hoping she
Yeah.
would have been in like a bathing suit or something at one point,
No,
but
no, no.
there was enough other TNA that went on in
Yeah,
that,
yeah.
and the gore in that movie. There was
Oh, yeah.
such.
Oh,
It was
my
over the
God.
top.
The dick was over the top. That was one where I was like, I was in the theater going, why? Why?
Or just when they're all trying to escape the water and they're pulling like half their friends out of the water.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
it
Oh my
was-
God. that scene at the beach where the
God.
water was shallow and everyone was trying to, oh my God, that was insane.
That was
insane.
Or even like there was the dick scene, but there's also the one where the eyeball was floating on the water and you just see the one fish come up and like I didn't see it in 3D, and I back in the day when they made 3D, it was all about just the things that popped out. But I was like, this probably would have been a good 3D movie to see.
It was decent in 3D. Yeah.
Number 2 for me, Jaws.
Okay.
Again, like as a kid, like watching that movie, like it was frightening. And yeah, we didn't go to the beach a lot when I was a kid, but then like I finally did go one year, and I was like, I don't want to go in there.
Like I said, I had a pool in my back. It wasn't the ocean. I had a pool, and I wouldn't.
In the pool.
I went in the pool, but I was like, when it got dark out, I was like, I don't want to get in the pool.
Yeah, I'll tell you, Jaws is one of those movies that a lot of adults nowadays still attribute their fear of water to that movie.
Yeah. And there was a lot of good actors in that movie.
Yeah.
And there's those certain like little keys that make movies, like Halloween's got that like I remember just being at a cousin's house and they would like just start hitting those keys on the piano and be like,
what? There's a shark in the living room?
Yeah. So, and then my number 1 is Club Dread, which
wow.
Yeah, all right.
I like horror comedy, and I was a big fan of Broken Lizard. And when I went to see Club Dread in the theater, I was expecting Super Troopers.
Yeah,
but it was actually a pretty good horror movie.
They did a good job
with a twist, like
I mean, there was comedy in it, but yeah, they did a nice job of separating it.
They had a good you didn't really know who the killer was. Yep. There was some good TNA in it, which is always great for a horror movie.
That's how we classify the summer horror movies.
Yeah,
if it has teenage TNA in it.
Yeah, and what's Bill Paxton as Coconut Pete was phenomenal. And I love the scene where he like flips out because the girl at the campfire keeps telling him to play Margaritaville, and he's like, I think you mean my number 1 hit, Pina Colada Burg. She's like, no. I love that scene. He just flips out. It was a great movie. Like I've seen that movie 1,000 times.
Yeah,
and it's a great horror comedy.
Yeah. The best thing of it is that the fact that we all agree that that's a good movie.
Yeah,
and our lists are so similar.
Yeah, crazy. I have a couple honorable mentions. American Werewolf in London was one of them.
That's awesome.
Great, like the special effects for the time that it came out was great. Wrong Turn. I don't know if you guys Wrong Turn, which they were on a road trip. There was no camping and no beach, but
it qualifies.
Yeah, and Eliza Dushku, and the killer like inbreeders in the woods that had a lot of good like tense scenes to it.
You could have gone a lot of places. Like when you said cabin food, like I didn't think about it, but you could throw Evil Dead in there because they're in the cabin.
You really could.
You could throw children. I didn't even think about that. The corn.
That's another vacation when they were on road trip.
Exactly. Well, my other ones are also kind of like that. Deliverance.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Because they were on they were out to go fishing because they were going to dam the river up and it would be the last time to go fishing. And that, I mean, that's a pretty messed up movie.
That's an understatement. Calling it a messed up movie is an understatement for sure.
So it's a horror, right? Like it's a
horror, right?
especially for men. Especially for men, it's
one of those classic scenes.
Well, that was the original Get Out the Gimp, right?
Yeah. And then my other one was The Hills Have Eyes.
Okay.
All right.
Because they were in a camper.
That definitely classifies.
Yeah, they were in a camper and it was a family and they got stuck in the middle of nowhere with a bunch of like
From Dusk Till Dawn. They were
freaks.
That's another classic Wes Craven film.
Yeah.
And
I had quite a I mean I thought about Evil Dead. There was a lot of them that I thought about.
Did Wes Craven have something to do with speaking? I know you talked the girl in the photograph. Who watched?
Yeah, I saw that one.
Did Wes Craven have anything to do?
I don't know.
He might have had.
I don't know.
I don't know. I don't remember. I'd have to look, but I don't remember.
I will say this: Hills Have Eyes has an interesting little nod to it from Evil Dead. As a matter of fact, and this happens all the time. I don't know if some people can see it and realize it, and some nice documentaries will like point it out for you. But directors and producers and writers always make nods to each other's movies in movies.
Okay.
And one that I remember very distinctly as a kid was seeing Evil Dead for the first time. The first Evil Dead.
Right.
There is a scene in the cabin where he has a poster of The Hills Have Eyes.
Oh yeah, I don't know. I'm sure I've seen the movie 100 times.
Nod. That's his nod to Wes Craven when he's making his movie, so.
He fell off the face of the earth too, didn't he?
Who?
Sam Raimi.
Yeah, he does producer
He
stuff
did
now.
Drag Me to Hell.
Right?
That was it.
He did like the
right?
first 2 episodes of Ash vs. Evil Dead, or
Oh, did he?
yeah.
All right,
But
no,
he's
like,
mostly
movie-wise,
producer credits now. He doesn't.
Yeah.
He doesn't
Yeah,
do
well,
a lot of the writing.
Like
and
you said, Drag Me to Hell, I think was the last.
it was a
And that was a
fantastic movie.
It was
I
a
know.
great movie.
Fantastic
I really
movie.
and it had Sam Raimi like all over it. Like it
absolutely.
was just like him to a
Yep.
T.
Yep, loved that movie. Loved it because it was like the same kind of gross, disgusting,
Over the top,
edge
yeah.
kind of shit that was like.
The eyeball flying out.
The eyeball, the goop coming out of her
The
mouth.
fight
and
between the old lady where she's like drooling that goop into the girl. Yeah.
God. Oh.
And then it had like a kind of a twist ending too, which was kind of nice.
Yes.
Yeah, that was great.
It was.
great
I
movie.
actually still watch that one every year, like around Halloween time.
I
I'll
have the
pop,
digital copy.
I'll
of
pop
it.
that one in.
Yep. Speaking of movies, watching over and over again, I just recently purchased because one of my favorite movies over the past few years was The Witch.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, it was a good movie.
That was an A42.
It took me a while to get used to their old English accents.
A24.
A24,
Yeah.
sorry.
So the A24 Studios released that one,
Yes.
and it was on sale last week on
segue, Sal.
iTunes for $4.
It's a good segue.
$4.
Yep.
Nice.
$4. So I thought, shit, I'm going to buy it. It's in 4K.
It's a no-brainer.
That's one of those movies that's like, it's a great horror movie.
Is that
It was
good in 4K?
original. What was that?
Is that good in 4K?
It looks fantastic in 4K.
Okay.
It was an original because nobody really did a movie of that style.
No, and it
and it had a lot of underlying themes to it.
It did.
Yeah.
Like I think the big overarching theme is
puritanical.
like suppression of prepubescent girls.
Yeah, exactly.
Like it was really
Oh, yeah.
over the top with that. The
Yeah.
message was
Fire
almost
and
in your
brimstone.
face.
It was the
especially towards the
religion.
end there when they invite her out to the
Right. And I always I love the last lines, which are spoken by Black Phillip. He says, "Wouldst thou like the taste of butter, a pretty dress? Wouldst thou like to live deliciously?" It's just fantastic.
That
I
is
love that
great.
freaking movie.
coming from a goat too.
So I actually, so this is funny because like all kind of rolls together. So I bought that movie for $4. I was actually at my sister's house Friday night. She wanted to watch Black Panther. She never saw it.
Great
So I
movie.
took my Apple TV up to
I
her
have not
house
seen the Black Panther.
and we watched Black Panther in 4K. And then when we're done, I'm like flipping through iTunes movies
Mm-hmm.
and it says movies on sale. And I'm clicking and I say, oh, The Witch for $4.
Yeah, no
and
doubt.
4K.
No doubt.
Boom, downloaded it right there. And then last night I ordered. There's this artist that I follow on Instagram. His name is Vance Kelly.
Mm-hmm.
He does commissioned movie poster renderings from movie companies. So often the movie companies have like these parties and stuff that are like executive parties. So it's like stuff that regular people aren't invited to. He gets commissioned to draw and paint these posters that are like remakes of originals or new fresh takes on originals. He did a couple that were just really amazing lately. And he doesn't, some of them he's not allowed to show the whole photos, so he'll show like a clip of it and then you'll be like, oh man, I would love to see that full freaking poster.
Right.
So he also has a website where he sells the ones that he's allowed to sell or ones that he makes on his own. And he did 4, this one was one that was commissioned by the director of The Witch. He made 700 of the black light posters
No
of
way.
Black
Nice.
Phillip.
Sweet.
So I ordered 2 of them. They were $75 a piece, but I got one for me and my.
Where's your black light, Sal?
I don't have one. I'm gonna get one. I used to. Funny when I was a kid, I had a
Spencer's.
4-foot black light,
Yeah, no, I did
and
too.
under it I had all of those velvet
yeah, I
posters.
did
Yeah,
too.
I had a nice Cypress
That
Hill
was my
with
room.
his skull with the big like
Yep.
weed afro.
I
on
had
it.
the Number of
on.
the Beast.
I had a Grim
Iron
Reaper.
Maiden.
I had
Yeah.
a Grim Reaper.
Yeah, I think.
Call me crazy, but I think I had a pot leaf.
Yeah,
Well, I think
interesting.
my black light I got in college. It was like so. It was in college where I built up my black light
Nice.
poster collection.
Yeah, so I ordered those posters. I got one for me and one for my daughter-in-law. She loves The Witch, and she loves Black Phillip, and in fact, she got a tattoo of the side view of Black Phillip's head,
Oh, sweet.
and it says, "Wouldst thou like to live deliciously?"
Nice.
So
That's pretty sweet.
So I got her a poster too. I didn't tell her yet, but I got her a poster too. So they're really cool. I have to show it to you. I'll probably hang it up like near my bed or something.
Yeah.
But, yeah. So that's that.
So that was a good segue then. Talking about
Segue
that.
to A24 Studios, a new movie that we just saw this week. In fact, 2 days ago.
Yeah.
And that is Hereditary.
So it's freshly in my head yet.
Yes.
And my head is still trying to absorb what I saw.
Yeah. Now, we don't want to do any spoilers, which is going to be very difficult to do while talking about this.
I thought about that too. It's gonna be tough to talk
but,
about.
you know, we'll try to be as vague as possible.
We did have a pretty good conversation about the movie right before the show started.
Yes.
So
Which was all spoilery because we were trying to...
still trying to wrap our heads around what we saw.
Really, it's very... And I think you said it first when we were leaving the theater. It's going to take a while to unpack everything that happened there.
Yeah.
And I think the confusion of the... near the end and all of the rapid events that happen, the kind of emotional twists that were involved in all of it, it was a lot to process.
It was.
And I think I came home and for hours was still thinking about the movie.
And I think one of the main things about it is when you think about the way the brain functions is most of our fight or flight function and was probably prominent during that movie. So the part that's trying to digest what's going on took a back seat.
Yeah.
Because there was a couple scenes where I was like grabbing onto the chair. Like
I will say that out of there's been a lot of horror movies that have the formulaic kind of jump scares, those kind of formulaic gross out scares, all that stuff. But this movie had a twist of just about a little bit of everything.
Yeah,
I was going to say you can't categorize it.
They were in there ish, but they were blended in so nicely that
it wasn't as obvious that they were trying to get you with that.
Right? Yeah.
I mean, the clicking noises was something that drove me nuts. Even the 3D sound in the theater. Normally, you don't really realize how good the 3D sound is.
Yeah, because I thought I heard it behind me.
I was like, what the fuck?
Hell?
And there was even times where you hear that the noises coming from either side. And I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah, and I turned around and one time I said, someone fucking with me? Did someone
exactly.
Who's doing that?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And I think it started out very slow.
It was
you
slow.
know? And so part of me was like, yeah, because we had talked about it on the ride there, and it got some bad reviews from viewers.
Right. And I actually looked today, Rotten Tomatoes, the critics still give it a 98%.
I saw a lot of every critic.
But viewers give it
review.
52%.
You know what? I think
that's up because when I looked, it was like 30.
I think the problem is too many viewers today don't want to take the time to sit and really absorb. Like, think of some of the horror movies that are being put out today. You don't get that. Like I went and saw Happy Death Day with my daughter, and it's a good movie, but there's nothing you have to really think about. Like it's pretty. It's a movie made for the Snapchat and Instagram generation.
Yes.
This movie, you need to kind of sit there and just listen and pay attention.
Oh, yeah.
And there's atmosphere that plays into it, and even that house,
yeah,
like
the isolation. They were in the middle of nowhere.
In the woods there. But the thing that, and I think I posted the article on Facebook, and I think you might have read it too, and I read through the comments and stuff.
Yeah.
That article was great.
It was.
Because the title was like, even the most seasoned
horror
this
movie
will fuck up even the most seasoned horror movie fan.
Right.
And I agree.
Because we all
I think his point of view was correct too. Like he said, it seems very polarizing and splitting of people, but I think it has a lot to do with your background.
Yeah.
Like I think if you're a parent, that one scene will fuck you up.
Yeah. I was like, holy shit.
Yes. If you're a parent, it's gonna mess you up. If you're somebody who has or had family related issues, like if you're not used to like a perfect family,
right,
and you're not used to this like craziness that goes on, that kind of emotional disconnection between the mother and the son and stuff.
Yeah,
I'm familiar with it.
I was sitting there a couple times.
Oh my, crazy!
Holy crap! There's a couple times, and it was kind of weird because some of those scenes weren't horror. They were just interpersonal relationships between family members, but they were horrible.
But it gave you, right, a lot of it gave you a sense. And I said to my friends, like at work, because I have a lot of friends that are into horror movies, and I was like, the one thing that I can say is consistent feeling in this movie is anxiety and dread.
Definitely.
There were so many scenes that I was so filled with dread watching the scene that I really almost felt like I wanted to leave because I couldn't handle it.
Well, yeah, like the first major like horror scene. After that, I sat there feeling probably what I think that kid was going through.
Yeah.
Like,
well, and I was in a panic. I was sweating, and I was like,
what do I do? What do I do?
And when the
That's what I
mother
was-
walks outside, what the fuck? What is going to happen?
That's what I was going through my mind. I was like, what would I do?
Yeah, right, exactly.
Oh my God. You just can't
I
imagine. You can't
I
imagine.
probably would have. I don't know if I would have done what that kid did.
Yeah.
It's like,
I'll just say the director did such a great job. That particular scene, he did such a great job at causing. There was confusion. There was a lot of stuff going on, and then bam!
yeah,
Holy shit!
yeah, and it was really slow moving up until that point,
Yeah.
and then it kind of grabs a hold of you.
Yeah.
And I yelled out in the movie theater, I was like, "What the fuck?"
Yes, so did I.
or either that or holy shit.
I turned over and I looked at the two of you like, what the fuck? What just happened? Holy
yeah,
shit.
because and then from there I was sitting there like, well, anything can happen now. I don't know what's gonna happen.
Yeah.
Totally unexpected.
Yeah.
Yeah, and seriously, from that point on, more and more stuff happened that I was like, oh Jesus, what the hell?
Yeah, and the thing is, and the theme is kind of the same with all the reviews, is you have some really good reviews that are done mostly by seasoned horror viewing professionals that look at it and go, hey, this is
Different.
yeah. Like Joe Blow did a great review. They review horror movies all the time. Joe Blow had a great review. Bloody Discussion had a pretty good review. Hour
Roger
to the
Ebert,
Head.
like I said, I never agreed with
Right.
Siskel and Ebert on most of their stuff.
Right.
I mean, they disagreed with each other, but he said scary, scary, scary.
Yeah.
But I think the
Scary.
thing, like I tried to explain this to friends of mine
And he's a
who
seasoned, he's
yeah.
it's not scary in your traditional sense of scary. There's not a lot of jump scenes. Well, again,
towards
it's
the end.
I'm gonna go out on a limb and say this ranks right up there with The Conjuring. I think about The Conjuring. Remember the clap scene?
Yeah.
And again, that wasn't like it was in a slasher scary.
No,
but
it's
it
that
was-
supernatural kind of demonic and the whole
psychological.
Yeah, it's very psychological. It's very kind of playing on the fears and stuff. And there were scenes
like when you said it wasn't like when you're saying
like, oh,
scary.
shit.
Well, yeah, like
Yeah.
when you said it wasn't traditional scary. I mean that was, I think.
But-
and that kind of follows the keys of like I'm sorry, the keys.
I-
That follows kind of the same thread as Insidious, right? I mean that falls
yeah,
right in the same line.
or Babadook.
Babadook falls
Yes.
in there too.
Yeah,
'cause-
I guess I don't want to say traditional. I want to say modern day, maybe more modern day scares.
Yeah.
Like there's the jump scares
Correct.
is kind of what
yes.
I think, and there
Yeah.
were jump scares in there, but
And to me-
it wasn't about the jump scare.
And
Right.
there aren't
They-
a lot of like back when we were growing up, like there was characters that were scary. They don't do that anymore.
Right.
And the
There's
thing
not-
is, the jump scares did not feel cheesy.
No, they weren't just put in there to be put in there.
Right.
Right.
It was there was a significant role that moment played, but you didn't expect it.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
Um,
Like that first scene.
there was a whole lot of foreshadowing that was done really well.
And I really liked the fact that her profession was making those like dioramas of her life basically in like model form, and that kind of helped to tell the story.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which was weird but different. And
Yes. And I don't know if you noticed, and this is going to be a bit of a spoiler, I'm sorry, but I think it might have been in the trailer. The one scene that she was painting in the room there was of a bedroom with her and a baby, right?
yeah.
And she was breastfeeding the baby, but the
her-
mom had her
Stand
kid
there-
out too.
Yeah.
I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
So it's kind of telling you the backstory of her life and her mother
Yes.
without actually telling you anything about her mother.
right. And it starts out with her giving a eulogy for her mother.
Yeah.
Which it's not really a spoiler either because that's the way the movie starts out. But the eulogy she gives for her mother is
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah, she's sort of like emotionless.
kind of like sort of happy she's
and
dead.
she sort of knew it, and she's like, is it bad that
Yeah.
I don't feel bad?
Right.
Yeah, exactly. And
Yeah.
that's what she said to her husband. Is this bad? And he's like, you feel what you feel.
I got to give props to Gabriel Byrne because
Fantastic.
I like him as an actor, and
He's great.
He was the great, solid, dad in the movie. And
Yeah, and the things that he covered up, so that kind of played into everything too.
Yeah.
That was a bit of foreshadowing too when he had the initial phone call. There was just so many great things about that movie.
There was.
But it was so much to take in.
It really
so
was.
So much to see and process. And then you're dealing with trying to understand what you're seeing and dealing with these, like you said, fight or flight responses.
Yeah.
This anxiety that you're
Definitely
dealing with.
feeling if you don't watch that movie and feel anxiety, then
There's something wrong with you.
then you're either emotionless.
But as we left, and I told my daughter, I said, as we left, there were two girls about the age of my daughter, and maybe young 20s, early, late teens, that said, what a crappy movie.
Yeah, I think I heard that.
I thought it was
the
funny.
one girl.
Funny.
Yeah, I heard the one girl said she thought it was funny, and I'm like,
What the fuck?
Yeah.
really?
There must be something wrong with
But
those
again, I
kids.
think it has to do with it's not for the
Right.
Instagram,
Right.
Snapchat generation. They're
Yeah.
not going. I got a feeling that if I try to sit down with my daughter who's 14 and she's starting to get into horror movies, she won't get through the first half hour
No.
Yeah.
because it's kind of slow.
It is slow.
It's
and
slow.
There's a level of, I won't say maturity, but a level of
Emotional investment.
yes, that you have
Emotional
to have.
investment,
Yes.
and there's not as
And that doesn't exist today.
does not.
This is these, like you said, Snapchat little clips, little.
make me happy
snippets,
now. Make me
yeah.
happy now.
This is the YouTube generation.
Right, and you have to, again, it's one of those things where you have to emotionally invest in it, and a good movie will make you do that, whether if you're like really happy about it or really sad about it or like really, anxious about it, which is what I think we all felt through most of that movie.
Yeah.
The first words out of my mouth once the movie, like the credits rolled, I was like, "What the fuck? What the fuck did I just watch?"
Yeah.
Right.
No, and I couldn't stop thinking about it. Like I went to bed.
Yeah, I'm still thinking like I got to go see it again.
I was processing the movie when I went to bed at night.
I've actually had plans to go see it again this Friday night with several other friends from work.
I don't have plans for Father's Day, so I was thinking of either going to see Deadpool again for the second time, or maybe going to see that again.
I saw
I'm probably going
Deadpool
to
3
cook my own
times already.
dinner on Father's Day.
What's that?
I said I'll probably wind up cooking my own dinner.
I
on Father's Day.
I actually prefer cooking my own dinner on Father's Day because the last couple times my mother-in-law says, "Oh, I don't want you to have to worry about dinner." She makes ham loaf.
Oh boy.
I hate ham loaf. So does my father-in-law. So she's making ham loaf for like two people who don't like ham loaf. Anyway, back to Hereditary.
Yeah, so here's the negative news, right? So the mixed reviews, it's really unfortunate, and I think Joe Blow review did
The best.
Said the thing about this movie is not going to do well with word of mouth because of the number of people that just didn't really care.
Get
for
it.
what
Maybe they
saw.
didn't get it either. you know?
So the domestic totals for the movie as of yesterday night is $18 million.
I wonder what was the budget? Does it say?
Well,
It doesn't list the budget.
Gabriel
for
Byrne
it.
alone probably made 20.
Yeah, I mean,
Well,
and Tony Collette.
if anybody is listening,
Toni Collette is not a cheap actress.
No.
I'm sure.
if anybody is listening to this, I would definitely recommend it.
see, this is the part that sucks. Opening weekend, only $13 million. They did not do well.
Was it limited release though?
It says it was in 2,998 trailers. I don't think that, or theaters. I
Yeah.
don't think that was
limited.
a limited release.
No, it's a shame.
Although, think about it, it's competing with a couple really great movies.
Deadpool's still out there.
Deadpool is still out there.
Infinity War's still out there.
Infinity War is still playing in a lot of theaters. I mean, that's number 6 for the weekend box office take. That's impressive.
Yeah, you said it. We were going to say Ocean's 8, I think.
Ocean's 8, took in $6 million. I mean, that was an opening weekend. Han Solo is still ranking.
Yeah,
in.
Han Solo.
Han Solo for the weekend still took in another $3 million. So, Deadpool 2, Hereditary ranked number 4 for the weekend.
So, yeah, I mean, 4's not bad.
It's not bad, and I don't know what their budget is. I'd be interested to see that. It doesn't list it here, but
But it's got to be, like I said, with Gabriel Byrne.
And there was some pretty good effects in that movie too.
yeah, they weren't.
yeah.
I like. There's some good camera action in that movie.
Yeah, I think
Some of the upside
cinematography
downs
was very good.
Yeah,
yeah.
That's yes.
The upside downs really the thing that I always, with a movie maker when it comes to those, that is depicting there's something wrong, and when he did the usage of that was perfect.
yeah.
Yeah, it's just I can't say enough how good it is, and I've been spreading the word about. And unfortunately, I feel nervous about it because when I tell people, "Hey, go check out this movie,"
Yeah.
and then they come back to me and go, "What a piece
Yeah.
of garbage!" I'm afraid that they're going to do that with this.
I don't know.
Not everyone's going to get it. Actually, I sat down and thought to myself, knowing what I know about me and how I felt about the movie, I bet these 3 people will like it in that one way.
Right, exactly. So I knew the people that if I told they should check it out, they'll probably like it.
Yeah.
Other people who saw that I went to see it asked me about it. I'm like, you might want to wait for it to come out on DVD or Blu-ray because I don't know if it's going to be for you. Like, really?
Yeah.
It's like I don't know, man. It's.
I thought it was fantastic, and
I called it. I told the people that I thought would like it. I said it was a mind fuck.
Yeah,
it was.
Yeah, it definitely was. Yeah,
I said I can't really explain it to you without going into too much detail, and I don't want to go into too much detail because I don't want to like ruin anything for you.
Yeah, but at one point, I thought I knew what was going on.
Yeah.
Then suddenly I didn't.
Yeah.
So
then the last half hour kicked in.
Yeah.
And I was like, whoa, I have no idea what's happening here.
And for a little while, I was like, oh,
she's nuts.
I understand why they're saying it's not a horror movie. The girl's just fucking crazy. So this is all her delusions or whatever. No, I was wrong. So
we'll leave that at that.
Yeah. So it was a great movie. I really enjoyed it. I think if we had to do our rating system, we're going to give it 5 burning crosses.
Yeah.
So I liked it.
Yeah.
And I think it's something, I think if you're into horror movies, like Deadspin was the review I sent you.
Yeah.
If you're like Deadspin says, a seasoned horror movie viewer, you want to go see
And
this.
I think the other one I then posted was AV Club.
Yep,
AV Club gave it a really good one too. That guy was freaking out in his in his like review of it. He was
and like I said, the professional movie reviewers are of a certain caliber human being, right? They're a certain age, they've got children, they got family, they know these things, and this touches those touch points for everybody that's in that role.
High school kids aren't. They're definitely
this is not gonna work for them.
No, not at all.
And that's why I said I have a couple friends at work that don't have any kids. They're not gonna. This isn't.
A lot of it's just gonna be like whatever.
Yeah. So, yeah, definitely worth seeing. I think people should go see it.
Speaking of the Instagram, Snapchat generation, the one trailer that we saw during it, the Unfriended Dark Web.
Yeah,
I actually kind of thought looked interesting. It was
a sequel.
It is a sequel.
It's a sequel to Unfriended.
Unfriended, and I actually thought Unfriended looked pretty good because you know those ones now that are taking technology into consideration.
Like that.
Did you see it?
No,
I didn't see Unfriended, but
I didn't.
But I actually thought I've seen 2 now that deal with like.
I don't like this.
I saw
found
one
footage,
but I think it's a twist on the found footage though.
Time,
but
Skype,
but I think I like that they're trying to adapt it to what's relevant to people today.
Yes,
and sometimes to me when I watch those trailers, I'm like, ugh, no, I'm like that Truth or Dare one that was out, and Blumhouse did that.
Yeah,
and I was like, nah, I don't want to see that. But this one actually looked interesting because it had I thought it looked pretty interesting.
It's one that I think I will wait for DVD.
Well, because I'm trying to groom my daughter as a horror movie buff.
You want her to be an aficionado.
When I see ones that I'm pretty sure that she'll relate to and dig.
Yep.
Then I can take her to see this, which I showed her the trailer. And she's like, "Yeah, we should go see that one."
No, I agree. I think this is something that my daughter and her friends would dig.
So then I can say, "Hey, we watched this. Check this one out." And it's an 80s or a 70s one that otherwise she may not have seen, but because she knows that I am into horror movies, and I took her to see this one, and we both liked it.
Yeah.
Well, Dad maybe knows something, so then she'll watch one.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that makes sense. Yeah. Speaking of that, so I'm going to do a little callback. A couple episodes ago, when we watched Zombies.
Oh, yeah.
I mentioned it seemed a little bit like a movie that I've seen before, and I couldn't remember.
Uh-huh.
And I just saw this week on iTunes, the 99-cent rental is Warm Bodies. And that's the one I thought of. You remember Warm Bodies?
I do remember Warm Bodies.
It was a pretty funny movie. It was a comical kind of
Similar?
zombie movie. Yep. So it's like everyone's a zombie. There's living people. They're fighting. They show zombies eating people. Like it's an expensive modern movie. They're eating people, and there's this one scene where like the zombie is a teenage boy, one of them, and he still thinks like a human, but he can't talk. He's dead. He's like rotting. And
I don't think I've seen that one.
And then there's like these ones that are rotted to the point where like almost skeletons.
Mm-hmm.
And he says we call those bone,
Yeah.
whatever. And then there's a scene where like
Boners.
they show him biting somebody's arm, and they're wearing like a Rolex, and he's like, "Oh, nice watch," as he takes a chunk out of somebody.
But
But
I don't think I know. I don't think I've seen that.
There's a scene where like he goes into a place and people are shooting all the zombies as he's coming in there, attacking and eating people, and he sees this beautiful girl, and then all of a sudden like his heart starts to beat.
Yeah.
And then over the next few weeks, he begins like turning back into a
Falling
normal
in
human.
love, yes.
And he falls in love with her. And
Oh wait,
they-
is that like a more recent one, right?
yeah, it's
is
like,
that
it
with
might have been like 5 years
John
ago.
Malkovich is like the
He's the bad
Yes.
guy in it.
I do remember seeing the trailer for that. Now that
Yeah.
you say, I'm like, I don't remember that.
It was a pretty good movie.
Yeah.
I mean, it had a lot of funny. It was funny.
I
It was
remember
kind of
that
a
now,
modern
yeah.
take on. And then like there's a scene where like suddenly whatever went on with him, it's spreading to all the other zombies, and
Zombies.
everyone's turning
Yes.
back into humans except for the bone ones.
yeah, because
Um,
there's bones.
Yeah, so it was.
Yeah.
That's what made me think of that, because when they were in Zombies, when they thought they were regular humans,
And they were making out.
yeah, but they were actually zombies to everybody else. That's what this was like. 'Cause all the zombies were able to like almost communicate with each other. They had normal human thoughts, but they just
Couldn't
everyone
talk to
was
people.
shooting them. Yeah,
So we should probably figure out what we're gonna do for our top 5 next time.
yeah.
Or do we usually do that during the show? Or do we
Yeah,
do
we
that
do.
after?
Yeah,
we
we
did
do that
last
at the end
time,
of
and
the-
the
I
time
think.
before
Are we
that.
getting to that point?
No, we got 15 minutes yet. We got to fill some time.
No.
All right, maybe not. Yeah. So let's talk about what we'll do next time.
We've done vampires, zombies, slashers, vacations.
Yeah,
That we-
there's none.
Scream Queens. We did.
Yep.
How about you want? Can we do like horror movie songs, like soundtrack stuff, or like favorite like top
favorite
5?
horror movie soundtrack.
Yeah, favorite.
Yeah, there you
All
go.
right, top 5 horror movie soundtracks. I like that idea.
Yeah.
Because I have a couple that I'm
Oh,
like,
yeah,
there's a
no.
lot of good songs from that
Yeah.
that movie.
Yep. Okay.
Oh, and that reminds me, I bought the Dracula remaster with
With the soundtrack.
yeah. I just got it on Blu-ray. It showed up at my house this week, so I think I'm going to watch that this weekend.
I was just talking to Craig about it because one of my ringtones is
Yeah.
the 8th track, "Excellent Mr. Renfield."
I said, do you
Love
you went to go see the Night of the Living Dead with the orchestra with us? didn't
No,
you?
I didn't.
Oh, you did.
Nope.
Okay. So I was telling Sal that would be an awesome movie.
Yeah.
where they
Because
could
in
play-
fact,
they had we went and saw down at the Steel Stacks the Night of the Living Dead, but they cut the soundtrack out. They just had
and they had the orchestra.
they had a 3-piece orchestra.
Yep.
Sitting
with
Sweet.
strings, it had strings and
yeah,
everything.
Nice.
cello and violins and
Well, that's pretty sweet.
so they only had the voice acting in the movie, and then the symphony, or whatever you want to call them, like they played the soundtrack to the movie live. It was the coolest thing ever.
That sounds pretty awesome.
So I
Is
said
that
that
something they
would
do
be
like
really
every
neat.
year, or
No, unfortunately, but it would be great if they would do
if
it
they
with Dracula.
did with Dracula,
Because
I
in
was telling them,
fact, the soundtrack is done by the Philip Glass Quartet.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so
so they could get a quartet to sit down. Maybe we
it would be awesome.
call them and suggest.
Yeah, that would be nice. But yeah, so you'll see that if you bought the Blu-ray that I have too, it's like the platinum edition.
Yeah, because
and-
the remastered Masters of Horror or something like that.
Yep,
Like it's
yep.
got like the little silver band across the top
that's right,
of it.
yep.
And yeah.
Yep. And then you have to go into the settings and select with soundtrack. It says Philip Glass Kronos Quartet soundtrack.
Nice.
And it's fantastic. I love it.
I got the Sonos TV bass speaker too, so
That's awesome, too.
It'll sound pretty good.
Yeah. I had it's the Blu-ray, right? Is that what you got, the Blu-ray?
Yeah.
or-
Yep.
Yeah, fantastic disc. I love it. I let people borrow it all the time. My daughter and I, we have this thing every Halloween. We have a series of movies we watch, and that's one of them. For the whole month of October, we sit down
So
and
you
watch.
should
horror
project
We do
it
the
on
same
your
thing.
house for
Friday
2
nights, every Friday night,
Yeah,
we sit
yeah,
down and watch
that's awesome.
at least one. Sometimes we can fit 2 in.
One year, we actually, when we had that, remember that October where we had a winter storm?
Yeah.
It was
Yes.
Yeah, that was actually right around
2012
Halloween.
or something.
Yeah.
And during that week, AMC had the Halloween marathon, all the
Oh,
Halloween
nice.
movies. So my daughter and I sat down during that snowstorm and watched all the Halloween movies.
Nice.
On
You
marathon.
can project it on your garage for trick or treat.
There you go.
That would be pretty sweet.
Yeah. Let's also talk about, do we have plans for who is hosting the movie
Oh yeah.
this time?
It's,
I think it's
my
Craig's
turn.
house.
Yep,
Yeah.
my turn.
All right. So we're going to have to let Craig pick something out. And
Just anything.
Yeah, pick whatever you want, man.
Anything you want horror
Could
related.
be something you've seen or that we've all seen or something that you think looks good that no one's seen.
Yeah, like
you know?
maybe Tourist Trap.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, Sal, you saw Tourist Trap.
I've seen it, but a long time ago.
Yeah, maybe
so I
one of
wouldn't mind
those
seeing it
that
again.
I've seen you guys haven't seen. Those are always good, right? The Spring. You guys didn't see Spring, right?
Nope. So you could pick any one of those. That'd be great, or whatever you want. It's your choice. Pick a day, pick a time, and we'll come over and we'll watch
From
it.
Justin to Kelly.
A piece of crap.
It's a horror.
Oh, it's a horror, all right.
Jiggly, another horror.
Jiggly.
Glitter.
Glitter.
Oh,
Showgirls.
Another thing I wanted to mention, and I don't know if it kind of fits into the horror genre. So you know that political group that we're involved in. Or,
Yes.
Yeah.
So the one guy we had a gathering a couple weeks ago, and the one guy in the group, his brother, wrote a Surviving the Apocalypse book, and it's like a comic book / actually manual for surviving the apocalypse.
Wow.
And it's pretty thick. I haven't gotten all the way through it yet. It's he was there like selling them, and he did all the art and wrote all the stuff in it, and it's pretty cool. Like he signed it, so I thought I would bring it in and just we could look at it beforehand and we could decide if it's something we want to incorporate in the show.
That sounds
but
cool.
I was like, maybe we could get like a guest on the show one time.
That would be cool too.
If we do like a apocalyptic like show one time.
Sure.
So I'll
we can do. We did zombie movies, didn't we?
We
already?
did.
Yeah.
We did.
But we
We
can
could do
still do an
apocalyptic,
apocalypse type
yeah.
movie, yeah.
So yeah, I mean it's partially funny because the drawings that he does in them are comical drawings, but there seriously is like legitimate stuff
survival guide.
on how to like purify water on the things that you should look for first when you it's pretty. Again, I'm only like 5 pages into it, but it's pretty sweet. And
Wow.
so yeah, the guy is like a local dude who
Interesting.
yeah. So I'll bring it
That's
next
pretty
time. Let you guys like check it out.
It's
And
pretty awesome.
it's sitting in the rack.
What is the name of it? Do you know? I might have actually seen it already.
It's something like How to Survive the Apocalypse. I'll
Yeah.
when I get home, I'll take a picture of the cover and
send it to me.
and I'll send it. Yeah.
Yeah, because I wonder if it's something because I have a book similar
Well,
to
it's
that.
it's kind of like a big book,
Oh, okay.
like square wise,
Yeah.
and it's a red cover with like all kinds of funky drawings in the front.
Yeah.
And again, the drawings he does kind of remind me of like when Zombie does like cartoons and stuff.
Yeah.
Like they kind of remind me of, like zombie type cartoons. It's
Nice. That's
yeah.
kind of cool.
But it's pretty sweet. Again, I'm only in like the second chapter, but it's pretty cool.
Awesome. And also in some other news, I'm working on our title track, our theme music.
Right.
Okay.
Sweet.
So
And we are talking about possibly going live. One of these episodes, right?
yeah. We'll see what happens. But
Do you need help picking? Or are you good?
you know what? I
That's
might need
that's
you
a tough situation because
for which one? For the soundtrack?
Copyright.
Well, this is what I'm going to do. Here's the thing:
'Cause
copyright
I
law
thought, like,
doesn't
Bela
apply if you.
Lugosi's Dead, I thought would be a great.
Well,
addition to-
that's the thing is you can play a cover track and it doesn't violate copyright law.
So if someone covers a song,
Yeah. So it's me playing guitar. Remember my friend Michael?
Yes.
He's playing the drum tracks. We plugged into this. I'm mixing it on here, and it's American Nightmare by the Misfits.
Okay.
nice. Well, that'll work out good.
And it's horror themed because I don't know if you ever listened to the lyrics of that, but it's like killing his girlfriend and then trying to escape.
Oh, well,
So-
that'll fit in good because I killed.
Yeah.
Never mind. I've never killed anybody. Mr. X has never killed anyone.
Mr. X. All right. I guess that's the end of the show, and we'll see you next month.
All right.